Hi YouTube, it's Priscilla. Welcome back for another episode. This one we're still continuing with Women Who Run with Wolves, and now we're on chapter 5. Yes, I wore the same dress again because I love how this gorgeous peach pink looks against my skin. So I won't wear it again tomorrow. Alright, so chapter 5 is titled Hunting, When the Heart is a Lonely Hunter. So Dr. Clarissa Pinkola Estes, she starts off by telling us about the skeleton woman. This is a woman who her father, she did something. I mean, we can make our assumptions. And her father took her in the boat canoe and he threw her overboard. So it had to be something very extreme. So in any case, her father murdered her. Then we have this hunter who is lonely because that's his job, to go out, hunt fish so that he can then sell that fish and make a living from it. And I'm certain it's hard labor and it's a very lonely job. So he goes out, his neck catches something and it's very heavy, and he's quite excited because he realizes, wow, this is going to sustain families for a long time. So he pulls it up. He travels back home. When he realizes what he has captured, he is terrified and he runs. But she flees after him because her heart is lonely as well. This is too much for him. He falls asleep. She sees the tears upon his eyes. She then takes those tears and they nourish her. She takes his heart and it nourishes her. What I'm gathering from this story, or as the purpose of it, we need to see the hag side of each other, the not so perfect side of each other, the side of each other that needs to die, that needs to change. This book, this chapter is about this life, death, life, nature. And at this point we're in relationships, just like chapter 4 was talking about how you choose a partner and how that partner should be chosen from the confirmation of our soul, that should be a soul love, not a carnal love, a soul love. And so then in this chapter, we're talking about how do you maintain this relationship that you now have. And so Dr. Clarissa Pinkola Estes is saying that we maintain it by realizing there's going to be continuous cycles of life, death, life, nature. Cycles where we must die to ourselves. So, for instance, at age 10, you thought a certain way about life and certain things. If you still thought that same way at 20, then you really didn't grow. It's like you had arrested development. And if you thought that same way at 30 without any tweaks and changes, again, still trapped in arrested development. And I'm saying 10-year markers because I know personally I really can chart my growth in 10-year markers. I can see it in 5-year markers, and I'm learning to try to chart it even faster than that, But I do not think how I thought in my 20s, nor do I think the same way I thought in my 30s. I think very differently. I approach love very differently. I approach friendships different. And so that's what this is talking about. In your relationship, as you grow closer, there are going to be things about you and things about your partner that you're going to die to, that you're going to change from, die and be rebirthed. These things must happen for the relationship to continue to grow, for the passion to stay there. But you cannot be, or you should not be in the relationship and not be honest with each other about your hag side, about the side that they may not want to see, the side that may hurt them so much. And what I'm gathering from this story, he was terrified of love. And love is very terrifying. It's scary to hand your heart over because some people out in this world, they want your heart as a form of control. So for them, as soon as you hand it to them, they believe that they can treat you like a puppet. And so, you know, you need to trust that your spirit is going to tell you if that type of person is seeking your heart. And hopefully you'll be wise enough to run, because you're nobody's puppet. You are your own person. But the hope is certainly that the person you give your heart to is the same person who has given their heart to you, and that you both have made yourselves vulnerable to each other and seek to grow each other, seek to nourish each other. So let's go ahead and get into the book. Let's let it speak as the authority. So on page 131, it says, Skeleton Woman is a hunting story about love. Going down, love does not mean a flirtation or a pursuit for simple ego pleasures, but a visible bond composed of the psychic sinew of endurance, a union which prevails through bounty and austerity, through the most complicated and the most simple days and nights. The union of two beings is seen as magic in itself, as a relationship through which the powers that be become known to both individuals. So when this union is true and the two are seeking each other because they truly love each other and their soul has confirmed it, the magic is there. The magic is happening. It would be exciting if in the comments some people can share their magic, like when they knew they met the person that their soul confirmed, you know? I mean, yeah, we've felt some kind of magic when our flesh is confirmed, some people, but it's not lasting if the soul doesn't confirm it. You start to feel an emptiness if it's just flesh. All right, so now we're on page 135. Well, I'll start at the bottom of 134. When we have it, we are no longer bubbling along fishing for fantasies, but we are made wise about the necessary deaths and the startling births that create true relationship. When we face Skeleton Woman, we learn that passion is not something to go get, but rather something generated in cycles and given out. It is Skeleton Woman who demonstrates that a shared living together through all increase and decrease, through all endings and beginnings, is what creates an unparalleled love of devotion. So I love that, you know, it's just simply talking about how you grow closer together as you acknowledge and share the beginnings and endings that happen within the cycle of a relationship, of an enduring relationship. Page 139. Sometimes lovers begin this way too. At the beginning of a relationship, they are only fishing for a little excitement, or a little help, or a little help me make it through the night antidepressant. Without realizing it, they unwittingly enter a part of their own and the other person's psyches in which Skeleton Woman resides. While their egos may be fishing for fun, psychospace is sacred ground for Skeleton Woman. If we troll these waters, we are guaranteed to hook her for certain. So I think this is talking about how be careful. If you think that you're just doing it for fun, which some people call one night stand or whatever, you still caught hook of that fish. I do a video on that, relationship advice number 2. Page 141. This is about the Skeleton Woman is always thrown over the cliff when one or both lovers cannot stand her or understand her. She is thrown over the cliff when we misapprehend the use of transformative cycles, when things must die and be replaced by others. If lovers cannot stand these life, death, life processes, they cannot love one another over and beyond hormonal aspirations. So certainly you want a partner who understands this life, death, life process and how there are things that are going to have to die in order for you to grow, evolve, change. Still on 141. The desire to force love to live on in its most positive form only is what causes love ultimately to fall over dead. So, and for good. So this one is talking about people who only want the good of love. They only want you to praise them. They only want you to please them. They only want all the good feeling part. But they need to realize within that good, we got to work on that dark. We got to work on that sad part, and it's through working on that sad part, that excavation, that helps us to get back to the good part. But not just the good part at even a better level, like a better feeling you hadn't even imagined. This skeleton woman who is found, you see that part when she's revealing her most vulnerable side, the side that she's even terrified that you'll notice. Some women, or some people, not just women, are so driven to perfection and you terrified to show the partner how they look nude, for lack of a better word. I mean, if he can't like you at your clean face, clean hair, all of this, then that should be disturbing too. Because that is another side of you as well. 145. There is a saying that when the student is ready, the teacher appears. This means the teacher comes when the soul, not the ego, is ready. The teacher comes when the soul calls, and thank goodness, for the ego is never fully ready. If it were solely up to the ego's readiness to draw the teacher to us, we would remain essentially teacherless for life. We are blessed since the soul continues transmitting its desires regardless of the ever-changing opinions of our egos. Turn to 147. What is the not beautiful? Our own secret hunger to be loved is the not beautiful. Our disuse and misuse of love is the not beautiful. Our dereliction in loyalty and devotion is unlovely. Our sense of soul separateness is homely. Our psychological warts, inadequacies, misunderstandings, and infantile fantasies are the not beautiful. Additionally, the life nature, which births, destroys, incubates, and births again, is considered by our culture the not beautiful. So these things that have to happen, these things that we feel truly, those are not beautiful. But we have to acknowledge this to our soul partner. They need to see this side, and we need to know that they still love us despite it. They love us with it, because this is what makes us truly human. It is unfortunate that some people want to exist in our world like robots. Okay, page 150. It is good to make a meditative and daily practice of untangling life, death, life, nature over and over again. The fisherman sings a little one-line song over and over to aid the untangling. It is a song to help awareness, to help untangle the skeleton woman nature. We do not know what he is singing. We can only guess. When we are untangling this nature, it would be good for us to sing something like this. What must I give more death to today in order to generate more life? What do I know should die, but am I hesitant to allow to do so? What must die in me in order for me to love? What not beauty do I fear? Of what use is the power of the not beautiful to me today? What should die today? What should live? What life am I afraid to give birth to? If not now, when? This is powerful. This is excavation. This is us talking to our soul. This is us doing the work. This page 150 is what we need to be saying on a daily basis, especially if you're in a relationship that you want to maintain, that you want to grow, that you want to sustain, that you want to keep giving life to. Whew. Page 151. Ignorance is not knowing anything and being attracted to the good, while innocence is knowing everything and still being attracted to the good. And that's what we want in our relationship. This person who knows everything about you and whom you know everything about, but you're still attracted to the goodness within them. You haven't turned away. You haven't ran away. 152. To return to an alert innocence is not so much an effort, like moving a pile of bricks from here to there, as it is standing still long enough to let the Spirit find you. It is said that all that you are seeking is also seeking you. All that you are seeking is also seeking you. That if you lie still, sit still, it will find you. It has been waiting for you a long time. Once it is here, do not move away. Rest. See what happens next. This is where trust and patience comes in. If you know how powerful you are and you believe how amazing you are, then do not squander this power, this amazingness on someone your soul has not approved. Sit, rest, wait. Know that it's coming because it is yearning for you just as you are yearning for it. Ooh, page 153. There has to be, at some point in a man's life, a time when he will trust where love takes him, where he fears more being trapped in some dry, cracked riverbed of a psyche than being out in lush but uncharted territory. When a life is too controlled, there becomes less and less life to control. Because you just become robotic. 154. For love to thrive, the mate must trust that whatever will be transformative. He must let himself enter that state of sleep that returns one to a wise innocence. One that creates and recreates as it should those deeper coils of life, death, life experience. 156. We all have made the mistake of thinking someone else can be our healer, our thriller, our feeling. It takes a long time to find it is not so. Mostly because we put the wound outside ourselves instead of ministering to it within. There's probably nothing a woman wants more from a man than for him to dissolve his projections and face his own wound. When a man faces his wound, the tears come naturally, and his loyalties within and without are made clearer and stronger. He becomes his own healer. He is no longer lonely for the deeper self. He no longer applies to the woman to be his analgesic. I hope I pronounced that right. And you want this kind of man. It's hard being in a relationship where the person makes you feel like they are nothing without you, or that things will end without you. You want to know you're in a relationship where you guys are growing stronger together, that you are better together. but not that they will fall apart if you are no longer there. You know, you have to do the work. You want your partner to do the work so that together you guys are, like I said before in the last video, moving mountains. Page 161. Through their bodies, women live very close to the life, death, life nature. When women are in their right instinctual minds, their ideas and impulses to love, to create, to believe, to desire are born, have their time, fade and die, and are reborn again. One might say that women consciously or unconsciously practice this knowledge every moon cycle of their lives. For some, this moon tells the cycle is up. For some, this moon that tells the cycles is up in the sky. For others, it is a skeleton woman who lives in their own psyches. Yeah, I think as women, I guess because of what we go through with menstruation, this constant thing that takes us to a pain that we can barely even understand, that forces us to dig deep down within, you know, so I can understand what is being suggested. Like, I know I feel my surroundings and I'm very much affected by them. And if I happen to be going through my womanly process at that time, I feel things at an even deeper level. And it forces me to do some excavation and to want to be different. 162. Sometimes the one who is running from the life, death, life nature insists on thinking of love as a boon only. Yet love in its fullest form is a series of deaths and rebirths. We let go of one phase, one aspect of love, and enter another. Passion dies and is brought back. Pain is chased away and surfaces another time. To love means to embrace, and at the same time to withstand many, many endings and many, many beginnings, all in the same relationship. 163. Then he sleeps. I will trust you. I allow myself to expose innocence. And his tear of deep feeling is revealed, and it nourishes her. I've waited a long time for you. His heart is lent to create her wholly. Here, take my heart and bring yourself to life in my life. And so the hunter-fisherman is loved in return. This is a typical transformation of a person learning to love. 164. We see in the story that death force requires of love. It requires its tears, its feelings, and its heart. It requires to experience love. The death, love, life nature requires of lovers that they face their nature straight on, that they neither faint nor faint from her, that their commitment to one another is far more than being together, that their love is based on their combined learning and strength to meet this nature, to love this nature, to dance with this nature. We see from the story that giving of body is one of the last in the phases of love. It is as it should be. It is good to master the first stages of meeting with the life, death, life nature, and to let the literal body-to-body experiences come after. I caution women, do not engage a lover who wants to go from accidental catching to giving of the body. Insist on all the phases. Then the last phase will take care of itself. The time of the body union will come in its own right time. When the union is begun in the body phase, the process of facing the life, death, life nature can still be done later, but it takes much more resolve. It is harder work, For the pleasure ego must be dragged away from its carnal interests so that the foundation work can be done. The little dog in the Manaway story points out just how hard it is to remember what path one is on when one's nerves are being thrummed by delight. That is true. You are able to stay focused and clear about what it is you want from the relationship and what you need to see in this potential partner when you are not giving in to your carnal desires. You want to stay focused, ask the questions, spend the time together, see if this person hears you, if you hear them, before you engage in the carnal. Because the carnal will make a commitment to the carnal, where you need a commitment to be made to your soul, not to your body, to your soul. 165. But the tale also tells how to come into a cooperative and rich relationship with what one fears. She is just what he must lend his heart to. When the man merges with the skeleton woman, he becomes close as he can to her. And this causes him to be close as can be to his female lover, to find this imminent life and to love advisor. To find this imminent life and love advisor, one only needs stop running, do some untangling, face the wound and one's own yearning with compassion. Give one's entire heart to the process. She teaches that protectionism creates nothing. Selfishness creates nothing. Holding on and screaming affects nothing. Only letting go, giving heart, the great drum, the great instrument of wild nature, only that creates. Whew. Thank you for coming back to another episode. I do hope you enjoyed chapter 5 as I did. Just this helping your partner to see how this giving of love, this true life, death, life nature is what will make the relationship grow, powerful, strong. Thank you for coming back. I hope to see you again soon, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.